Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be how I got this soft glam but kind of dramatic eye makeup look, and I'm going to show you exactly how I got this look using no foundation. To fill in my eyebrows, I use the e.l.f. Pomade Eyebrow Gel, I believe it's called, in the shade Espresso. So I use that to fill in my eyebrows, and I'm just brushing them out. Moving on to the face, I'm going to start off by using my LA Girl Pro Concealer. This is the orange corrector, and I'm just going to cancel out the dark marks or like blemishes that I have on my face using this LA Girl Pro Concealer orange corrector. So this is really good if you have hyperpigmentation and you want to get like a really good coverage with your foundation. You can just apply this orange corrector onto your skin before you apply your foundation or whatever you're going to use for coverage. So I'm using this small brush to just blend out this orange corrector that's on my face. So I like to let the orange corrector or concealer like sit on my face just for a little bit before I blend it out, just to get like a really good coverage for the blemishes or like hyperpigmentation that's on my face. To start off my eyeshadow look, I'm going to be using this LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Warm Honey to use that as a eyeshadow base for my eyeshadow. So here I am just applying it onto my eyelids. I love to use this shade Warm Honey for a eyeshadow base. Next, I'm just going to blend out this concealer. So I like to use small tapping motions when I'm using this concealer as a eyeshadow base. I don't want to like completely like blend this concealer away. So I'm just using small tapping motions and making sure I really cover up my eyelid to have a really good base for my eyeshadow. To set the concealer in place, I like to use a loose setting powder with a Real Techniques buffing brush to just set that concealer in place before my eyelids crease up, just so that I can have a really even, nice base for my eyeshadow. For this eyeshadow look today, I'm using the Huda Beauty Topaz Obsessions eyeshadow palette. So first I'm going to go in with this dark brown shade that's in this palette, and I'm going to use a Morphe M441 brush, I believe, to blend this into my crease. For this eyeshadow look, I wanted to create almost like a cat eye type of look, so I wanted to drag the eyeshadow out towards the tail end of my eyebrow to create that like cat eye effect for my eyeshadow. To cut my crease, I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer again in the shade Warm Honey to cut my crease. I love to use this shade to cut my crease. It's the perfect color to cut your crease with if you want to go for more of a nude type of cut crease. So this is just what I'm doing. I'm just starting off with the inner corner of my eye to create basically another eyelid for my my eyeshadow. Next, I'm going to take this lighter eyeshadow and I'm going to use this on a flat eyeshadow brush just so that I can pack on this color onto my eyelid for my cut crease. To do my winged eyeliner, I like to use this matte black liquid eyeliner for my winged eyeliner. Moving back to the face, today I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Beautiful Bronze. So this concealer shade is closer to my foundation shade. So I'm going to be using this basically as a foundation. To get full coverage from this concealer, you have to let it sit on your face. So you can't just go in and blend it out as soon as you put it on your face. So now I'm just going to wait. Now I'm ready to blend it out, so I'm using the Real Techniques buffing brush. I love this brush to blend out my foundation or concealer. So I'm just going to be blending this out, and as you can see, because I let this concealer sit on my face just for a couple of minutes, I think I let it sit on for like about 4 minutes, I'm getting really good coverage from this. To highlight with, I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Fawn. So if you haven't noticed by now, I have like every shade of these pro concealers. So I'm just going to use this to do just a basic highlight. To contour with, I'm using my favorite Black Radiance True Complexion HD Corrector Concealer in the shade Dark. I love this shade of this concealer to contour with. So I'm just going to do just a basic contour just on my forehead and then on my cheeks. And once again, I'm just letting this just marinate, I guess you can say, on my face before I blend it out. To blend out my contour, of course, I'm going to use my e.l.f. small stipple brush to blend out my contour. This is the only thing that I use to blend out my contour. So today I did something a little different. Usually I don't blend out my contour first, but today I did. To blend out my concealer, of course, I'm going to use my damp beauty sponge. And I always say damp beauty sponge, like all I did was just put it in water. So I always say damp because I just want people to know that you should never use a dry beauty sponge or beauty blender to blend out your makeup. So right here, I'm just showing the coverage that I got after I blended out my concealer. And this is just right before I added on the loose setting powder. So next I'm going to use the Airspun translucent powder, which I always use, and my damp beauty sponge again to press this loose setting powder into my skin. So I'm focusing more so on the areas where I applied the concealer, which was the LA Girl Pro Concealer. Next, I'm going to use this Ruby Kisses Matte Finish Foundation Powder in the shade Honey Brown. And I'm going to press this all over my skin. And I'm focusing more on the areas where I applied the loose setting powder. Next, I'm using this brown eyeshadow from the crayon case, which is in the Box of Crayons eyeshadow palette. So if you haven't noticed already, I like to use this eyeshadow to set my contour basically. Next, I'm taking my favorite terracotta eyeshadow and I'm going to use this as a blush today. Okay, so lately I've been putting blush on my nose. I really like how it looks in pictures with the nose highlight. So this is me just putting blush on my nose. And for a highlighter, I'm going to be using the Black Radiance 3D highlighter palette. So this is my favorite shade, Vacation, and the other shade is Paradise. So I just used two of those colors, or both of those colors. I just mixed them together to get a really nice highlight for this look. Moving on to lips, I'm just doing a really nude lip gloss. First, I applied the brown lip liner onto my lips, and for lips I'm using the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit in the shade Sin Nude. So this is just a nude lip gloss. It's a really good shade for women of color. So this is pretty much the finished look. This is the soft glam but kind of dramatic makeup look using no foundation. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure you hit that subscribe button and also give the video a thumbs up, and also make sure you go and follow me on Instagram at Zeno Allen Beauty, and I will see you guys in my next tutorial.